Ladies and gentlemen, may I please have your attention? Please have your tickets in hand before you board the plane. Thank you.
Hello and welcome, I'm Johan Castell and you're watching Wings. On the show today we cover the scenic Amarnath Yatra that has now started for the season. As the Dalai Lama turns 90, we tell you about famous Buddhist monasteries you can visit across the country. We also feature North Korea, where a new beach resort has finally opened. Let's start. The 2025 Amarnath Yatra is now underway, and this year it's not just about faith, but also about resilience, high-tech vigilance, and spiritual resolve.
Nestled in the lap of the Himalayas, at a height of about 13,000 feet above sea level, is the Amarnath Cave in Anantnag district of Jammu and Kashmir in India. The sacred cave is situated about 48 kilometers from Pahalgam and is known for its naturally formed ice shivling, which is considered a physical manifestation of Lord Shiva. Inside the cave are two smaller ice formations that represent Goddess Parvati and Lord Ganesha. Now, it is believed that the formation occurs due to the freezing of water droplets that trickle down from the roof. Covered in snow most of the year, the cave becomes accessible only for a few weeks in summer. During this time, it becomes the center of a spiritual movement that pulls in millions of devotees from across India. The annual Amarnath Yatra commenced on the 3rd of July, with the chants of devotion echoing through the Kashmir Valley. Bum, bum, bole, bum, bum, bole, bum, bum, bole, bum, bum, bole. The first batch of pilgrims started from the Baltal and Nunwan base camps, and the second batch set off from Jammu. From Pahalgam to Baltal, the administration, security forces and locals have worked around the clock to welcome pilgrims with open arms. This year's Amarnath pilgrimage comes just 2 months after a terror attack in Pahalgam that killed 26 civilians, mostly tourists. Authorities have stepped up security measures with advanced technology at the annual Amarnath pilgrimage, which began from July 3rd and is scheduled till August 9th. Undeterred by the recent terror threat, devotees have arrived in huge numbers. On the 2nd of July, the first batch of 5,892 yatris was flagged off from the Yatra base camp in Jammu's Bhagwati Nagar by Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha.
कुछ भी दुविधा नहीं लग रही है, जैसे कि था ना जब पहला अटैक हुआ था तो एकदम से आया था कि शायद यात्रा बंद हो सकती है, तो ये चीज़ थी। मैंने स्पेशल अंकल को कॉल किया, अंकल यात्रा बंद तो नहीं होगी? उन्होंने बोला नहीं बंद होगी। ये जो सबसे प्लस पॉइंट था हमारी इंडियन गवर्नमेंट का और यहाँ की आर्मी का कि यात्रा बंद नहीं कर रहे हैं, और इतना अच्छा इन्होंने अभी सेफ्टी पर्पस रखा हुआ है, इतने अच्छे चेक पोस्ट रखे हुए हैं, तो ये चीज़ बहुत अच्छी लगी हमें। और कोई भी दुविधा अभी तक तो आई नहीं और ना कभी आएगी। हर हर महादेव।
This year, technology is at the forefront of the pilgrimage. Not only over 42,000 personnel have been deployed in Pahalgam alone, the Yatra is also equipped with AI-powered facial recognition cameras and high-resolution CCTVs. All pilgrims and vehicles are also using radio frequency identification or RFID tags. These tags help track their location in real time. But what lies beyond these logistics is the profound devotion and belief that draws tens of thousands to the Yatra. According to Hindu mythology, it is in this very cave that Lord Shiva shared the secret of immortality with Goddess Parvati. The cave has thus become a powerful symbol of life, devotion, and divine coincidence, attracting devotees who seek to visit Lord Shiva's abode in their quest for peace and salvation.
India is home to some of the most sacred Buddhist sites, drawing devotees and tourists year-round. Followers from around the world have gathered to honor the Dalai Lama's legacy of peace and compassion as the iconic spiritual leader turns 90.
This is where it all began. Under the sacred Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya, Lord Buddha attained enlightenment. The Mahabodhi Temple complex, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, stands as a beacon of spiritual awakening. Built by Emperor Ashoka in the 3rd century BC and rebuilt in the 5th and 6th century, it is one of the earliest brick temples in India still standing today. Pilgrims from across the globe gather here to meditate, reflect, and walk in the footsteps of the Enlightened One. From Bihar to the heights of Ladakh, the Hemis Monastery is among the largest and most celebrated monasteries in the Himalayas. Famous for its vibrant annual Hemis festival, the monastery houses centuries-old thankas, scriptures, and rare Buddhist relics. Not far from the Hemis, in the surreal desert of Nubra Valley, stands the iconic Diskit Monastery, the oldest in the region. Founded around the 15th century, it is home to a majestic 100-foot-high statue of Maitreya Buddha, blessed and unveiled by the Dalai Lama himself. Glistening in gold and red, the statue overlooks the valley as a guardian of peace and compassion. South India offers its own tribute to the Enlightened One at Buddhavanam, a vast theme park on the banks of the Krishna River. Spread across 279 acres, it traces Buddha's life through sculpture, storytelling, and immersive exhibits. From the Jataka Park to the majestic Mahastupa, this site is designed to welcome global pilgrims, especially from Southeast Asia. Even Miss World 2025 contestants recently walked this sacred space on Buddh Purnima. Our journey ends at Sarnath, where Lord Buddha delivered his first sermon. The Dhammic Stupa marks the exact spot of that momentous teaching, while the Ashoka pillar and monastic ruins whisper stories of the past. At the Sarnath Museum, relics from 3rd century BC to the 12th century AD unfold the deep roots of Buddhist philosophy.
A luxury beach resort in North Korea is finally ready. But behind the glitz lies a question. Who's going to visit? Here's a look at Kim Jong-un's latest attempt to reshape the country's image.
North Korea is opening a beach resort that Kim Jong-un hopes will attract tourists. The Wonsan Kalma Resort, located on the East Coast, has welcomed domestic travelers from July 1st, 6 years after its scheduled launch. Wonsan is also the place where Kim Jong-un spent his childhood. Many North Korean elites have villas in the area. Once a missile testing site, it's now being transformed into a leisure destination. According to state media KCNA, the beach resort spans 4 kilometers and includes hotels, restaurants, shopping malls, and a water park. It can accommodate up to 20,000 visitors, but it remains unclear when or if it will open to foreigners. On June 24th, Kim officially opened the resort, accompanied by his wife, Ri Sol-ju, and daughter, Kim Ju-ae. The area was once a bustling port with ferry links to Japan, shut down in 2006 after North Korea's first nuclear test. Although the country lacks standard travel procedures for foreign tourists, the resort's launch marks a symbolic shift from missile launch sites to a tourist destination. It is a high-end resort, years in the making, and open at last. However, for now, it appears that only North Koreans will enjoy the view.
They say travel is the only thing you buy that makes you richer, and in 2024, travelers are spending a staggering $5 trillion globally to make those memories. Let us tell you about where people are traveling and who drives the travel boom.
A brand new report from Boston Consulting Group estimates that by 2040, the global spend on travel will triple from $5 trillion today to a whopping $15 trillion. And leading that charge, countries like China, India, and Saudi Arabia. And what's driving it? A rising middle class, more disposable income, and a hunger for new experiences. Let's start with China. Poised to become the world's biggest spender on leisure travel, growing by more than 10% a year. What's fueling this boom? A rapidly expanding middle class, more affordable travel options, and a deep cultural curiosity. China's outbound travelers are exploring the world, but domestic travel is also thriving. From Sichuan's panda sanctuaries to the high-tech cityscapes of Shenzhen. In India, it's a youthful population with growing income that's powering this surge. India is becoming one of the fastest growing travel markets globally, and not just outbound. Domestic tourism in India is booming, with people rediscovering their own country. From royal palaces in Rajasthan to wellness retreats in Kerala, India isn't just traveling, it's becoming the destination too. And then there's Saudi Arabia, once a closed-off destination, now opening its doors with bold ambition. As part of its Vision 2030 plan, the kingdom is investing billions to transform itself into a global tourism hub. With world-class infrastructure, new e-visas, and one-of-a-kind desert and Red Sea experiences, Saudi Arabia is no longer just a spiritual destination. It's becoming a bucket list adventure. But what ties these countries together? A growing appetite for experience, culture, and connection. And it's not just about where their citizens are going, but how they're reshaping the map of global tourism. Interestingly, about 70% of travelers from emerging markets are blending business with pleasure. Think of it as turning a work trip into a mini vacation, a trend far less common in the West. And while most of these trips still happen within home countries, international travel is where the real surge is happening. According to a report, spending on global leisure, travel will rise from $424 billion in 2024 to $1.4 trillion by 2040. That's a threefold increase, which is opening the doors to new destinations, new airlines, and new experiences. Yes, the industry faces challenges. Geopolitical tensions, trade uncertainties, but despite all that, travelers are leaning into the Carpe Diem spirit. People aren't waiting for someday, they're taking that trip now. More spontaneous, more experiential, more personal. So if you're planning your next escape, don't just look west, look east and beyond. The world is opening up in new ways, and emerging markets are not just travelers. They are now the travel destinations themselves. From Mumbai to Manila, Riyadh to Chengdu, the next travel revolution is already boarding. The question is, are you ready to fly?
Our next story takes you to Venice, a beautiful Italian city which is not only a tourist spot but has also become a highly sought-after wedding destination.
Venice, often called the City of Love, is a dream wedding destination. With its beautiful canals, old buildings, and romantic feel, It's no surprise that many couples choose to get married here. From grand palaces to quiet courtyards, Venice offers the perfect backdrop for a stylish and unforgettable wedding. And that dream became a reality for Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and TV anchor Lauren Sanchez. The billionaire couple said "I do" in a private ceremony on the historic island of San Giorgio Maggiore on the 27th of June. It was a grand 3-day celebration with celebrity guests like Oprah, Bill Gates, and the Kardashian-Jenner family. But not everyone in Venice was celebrating. As guests got ready to party, a group of locals hit the streets in protest. Their message? Big private events like these don't belong in a city already struggling with too much tourism. Some were also protesting against capitalism and climate change. Protesters carried banners reading "No space for Bezos" and set off colorful flares. Some planned to block the boats with inflatable crocodiles, but later dropped the idea.
This brazen and overbearing capitalism that enters our cities, that enters our homes, that closes our squares to us citizens, closes our alleys, our schools, to give space not only to people who have nothing to do with these cities, who do not bring enrichment, but people who perhaps carry on ideals that we reject.
While the wedding made headlines, so did the weather. Tourists are braving a heat wave in Venice with temperatures touching 37 degrees Celsius. Italy's health ministry issued red alerts in 21 cities, warning people to stay safe in the heat. Still, many tourists say they're enjoying the city despite the high temperatures.
To come, it's the first time we've been here to Venice, and it's very nice to come to the heat. When we got here last night, there were like storms, the fork lightning, and then it rained, and that was beautiful to see. So yeah, but it is very hot. Yeah, I'm sweating.
I mean, maybe we do less than because it's so hot, because walking takes a lot of energy because it's so hot right now. But we did the things that we wanted to do, so we're very happy.
Romantic, historic, and always full of stories, Venice once again proved it's more than just a tourist spot. Whether it's walking down the aisle or marching in protest, the city continues to be the stage for grand gestures.
Sun, sea, and sustainability. The Greek island of Corfu is shifting its tourism strategies from traditional mass tourism to seeking wealthy visitors in a bid to avoid over-tourism. Our next story tells you more about Corfu's new tourism strategies.
Blue waters, golden sunshine, and a past steeped in history. That's what tourists from across the world seek when they visit the Greek island of Corfu. The island boasts a rich multicultural heritage, stunning natural beauty, and year-round sunshine, making it one of the Mediterranean's most loved destinations. In 2024, Corfu welcomed around 2 million visitors, which was a 7% rise from the previous year. Also, international flights to Corfu increased by 32% since 2019, while ferry arrivals surged by 31%. But Corfu is steering away from mass tourism. Local authorities aim to move beyond the numbers and focus on quality to make tourism in Corfu more sustainable. The island is betting big on luxury travel, and their goal is to attract fewer tourists, but the ones who can spend more.
I think people are looking for destinations that are not so popular. Like when you think of Greece, you think of always Mykonos and Santorini, especially with the white houses. And Corfu is totally different option. It's green. It looks. It has a great culture, amazing food, and it's popular with everybody, families, young people with young children, people with couples, older people, like seniors. So we see a spike in the last few years in Corfu because it has so much to offer.
Corfu has a diverse history. It was under the rule of various powers from the Spartans and the Romans to the Byzantine Empire and the Venetians. The later years also saw the French and the British take control before the island was ceded to Greece in 1864. Corfu blends cultures, architecture, and natural beauty. Its historic charm, crystal clear waters, and Mediterranean warmth have made it a magnet for global travelers. But then, this Mediterranean gem is now changing with time.
What's making a difference? The US market has grown immensely in Greece the last few years with direct flights to Athens, with many more direct flights to Athens. And the Americans are choosing Corfu, and Corfu, as I said, with more brands coming, so they know these American brands have established themselves in Corfu, so they get to attract people, and that's, as I said, word of mouth. They don't want to go always to Santorini and Mykonos. They've found out that Corfu is an amazing place, so they keep choosing it.
Currently, most tourists come from the UK, Germany, Italy, Poland, and France. These markets account for 75% of arrivals in Corfu. With Corfu's new plans, it wants to go global. Drawing affluent travelers, seeking exclusive experiences from across continents. The iconic view of Mouse Island has been tourists' favorite for decades.
In 2012, we had around 10 five-star hotels, and lately we have many investments in the islands, from international funds and from Greek companies, investing in building new hotels or renovating and extending the existing ones.
Wow, I mean, look at that, the views. We've got beautiful sunshine, it's great climate here, the food's good, the people are friendly. Here in this hotel, the staff are all really well trained, really friendly. You've got the marine tourism, rich history. What's not to like, really?
But the island's new tourism push is shifting spotlight to luxury resorts and boutique stays, creating modern tourism strategies for the future of Corfu, from over-tourism to exclusivity, from mass tourism to travelers with deep pockets. Corfu's journey truly reflects the changing landscape of global tourism. Will it lead to a sustainable tourism plan? Only time will tell.
That's all we have for you on the show in this week's episode of Wings, but we return again next weekend with more travel content for you. Until then, it's me, Johan Castell, signing off. Goodbye.